Today on A Commonly Good MTG, we're playing Selesnya 70. Selesnya, meaning that we're playing green and white cards. 70 because it has apparently a 70% win rate. If that sounds good to you, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I'm your host, sometimes known as Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago, Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you. Known before a live studio audience. Thank you so much, Yukon Socket. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck I found over on the Aetherdrift, posted by the MTGA-Assistant-Meta, known as Selesnya. Selesnya, with a 70% win rate. It had 22 wins and 9 losses. So I took a look. Number one, it had a good win rate. Number two, it had a lot of weird cards in it. And mostly I wanted to play with something that had March of the World Ooze, because I played with this one time before. I thought it was great. Thought I should play with it more. And then I was looking to see what somebody else had done, and I found this deck, and it looked interesting. A lot of these cards we've seen before, such as the possum and the rabbit. The rabbit's used all over the place. But the weird ones here was the Sandstorm Salvager. I've never seen this guy before, Salvager. And the other cards that are going with it are interesting, because it just seems like a random pile of semi-good stuff, but there's a method to this madness. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this deck. We'll talk about the cards that are in it, and we'll go out and we'll crush some hopes and dreams. What do we got here today? We got mana ramp. We got the ability to put out babies, or a single baby, and whenever one of your creature becomes targeted by a spell or ability, you get to put a Popo counter on target you control other than that creature. Okay. This is a hideaway, so when it comes out, you get to look at the top five cards of your library, put one of them underneath the hideaway, and then when you meet its trigger, then you get whatever that card is for free. But what it is that for 1 mana, you can tap and you put a Popo counter on target creature control. If you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, then you get that card. So that's what you're looking for doing, right? Get Lost gets rid of enchantments, creatures, or planeswalkers. Shelter by Ghost gets rid of any target non-land permanent. And the creature you put this aura on gets +1/+0, lifelink, and ward 2. One of the best cards from Duskmourn, in my opinion. Their very best one, actually. Tender Wildguide is essentially a mana elf. He can put out a baby version of himself. They are mana sources. So between Llanowar Elf and this one, you got mana ramp. Plus, you can also put Popo counter on itself. It could get a +1/+1 in case you don't want to use it for mana. Sanguine Evangelist has Battle Cry and puts out a bat, and when it dies, it puts out another bat. Battle Cry, when you attack with this creature, all other creatures get +1/+0, and that is great for a great, raid of your squad against your opponents there. Toby puts out a 4/4 Beastie. As long as you control 4 or more token creatures, which we're gonna, then your creature tokens all have flying. So they're going to get flying is what they're going to get. Sandstorm puts out a Golem artifact creature token, 3/3. And then for 2, you can tap this guy to give them all a Popo counter and trample. So they'll have flying, they'll have trample, and they'll have a Popo counter on it. And that just keeps pumping. You know what else is a token creature? The babies that these guys put out. So we got lots of opportunities here. The synergy is strong with this one. I'm going to skip over this guy to get to this guy. What does he do? Every time he enters or attacks, he puts out 2 flying moths, and those moths are 2/1s. And you could play him with impending, so you put him out for 4 rather than 7, and then he has to wait 4 turns until he comes out on his own. Let's get to the March now. So when this guy comes out, all of your creatures have a base power and toughness of 6/6. Anything that has Popo counters on it is 6/6 plus the Popo counters. And it says, whenever an opponent casts a spell, if it's not their turn, you create a 3/3 green elephant creature token. And what does this guy do? Whenever this is a man land, whenever it attacks other creatures you control, get +1/+1 till it turns. So he becomes a lord when you turn him off when he attacks. All right, so there we go. What are we going to do with this deck? We're going to be laying dudes out, trying to go for the mana ramp. Why is that? Because we're trying to get to March of the World Ooze and drop this thing out for 6. What else are we going to do? Collector's Cage, throw that out. Try to find Marches and Overlords and throw those out so we can get them out there potentially on turn 3. Because what are our chances that we can trigger this on turn 3? Like 50-50. All right, other than that, it's just get the board wide, try to get the 3 different types of powers so we can get the Collector's Cages going, and maybe even battle cry our way to destroying our opponent. Lots of opportunities, multiple paths of victory. Everything's good with this deck. Let's get out there. Now, before we go and do our damage, let's do as we do every night. Let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Hands together. Dear Black Queen Sholdred, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear the lamentations of the women. All right, we're playing against Dagwood. For those of you who are not old enough, Dagwood used to be a very popular comic in the newspapers. He was the husband of Blondie, which was the name of the comic strip. Keep. A newspaper is a piece of paper they would deliver to your house and contain the day's news. It was pretty much the internet of its day. All right, what is this guy playing? Black. All right, can we get something good? One of you. All in. All right, we get out an Evangelist next turn, which will get us at 3 guys. But not enough to actually then pump. Don't take the guy, please. You know he's going to do it. He's taking the Evangelist. Oh, good. He took the wrong card. Okay, what he doesn't know is that I need all 3 of my guys to live. You might know that just because you might know Collector's Cage does. He wants to just let that happen, huh? Oh, whatever, man. Now I got to get another guy from someplace. Oh, the devil. All right, we can pop it right there. Welcome to the battlefield, my friend. And let's bat in. Yeah, no blocks. It's cool. Have a good time. Let's put it on Mothzilla there. I don't know which one I picked. Let's pick that one in. And he's got an elf, everyone. An elf. All right, here we go. Another dude, a Collector's Cage. And I could get rid of our pal with... What's this dude? Get lost. Nice. All right, and... We just do it again? Yeah, we can. Who are we going to do it for here? We're going to pop up. All right, we did not use Battle Cry. I could do it next turn, provided all our creatures don't get wiped off the board this turn. I just wanted to make sure he would live. We would have lost 2 guys out of that fight. Wasn't a good reason for it. He's trying to go for the defense. It might be too little too late for you, my friend. If you can't kill me with what you got in your hand, you're not going to be able to kill me. Those are moths. He's going to kill one of them, huh? I can't put it on him, huh? That is disappointing. Let's put it right there. Alright, let's battle cry. Battle cry! You can block 2. I see at least 8 in flying right now. Victory! Rank up. And we're playing against GrifterNR. Keep. What do we got here? We got a dude with offspring. Costs us 4 to be able to play. 2 of those. That is rough. I almost just want 1. All right, but at least we got a mana source. That's 3. We got 4 right there. Just a dude. He's just there to pass out mana to people, to himself, to me. Ooh, you just hate. You got nothing but hate in your heart, huh? I'm gonna go for it, mana-wise. That's fine. Can we get out the March of the World Ooze? That'd be fantastic. I've yet to see it happen with this deck. And by the time we get up to 5, it's either over or they kill us. One of those 2 things that usually happens. All right, number 1. Number 2. We got a bunch of guys. We've got 5 right now. We just need 1 more mana, and everybody can be pretty swole. That'd be fantastic. It'll suck. We have to go fishing for mana. Oh, what are you going to do? Steal the Evangelist? Is that the deal? All right, cool. Good for you. Well, there's our mana. That's what we needed. All right, bat in. There we go. All right, now we got those mighty Titan Elves right there. We're passing out there. 18. I got another one. You're going to love it. You just made me mad. I want to know what love is. Looks a lot like that. All right. He's down to 11. You have yet another get lost. He's going to go full defense on me here? No. What do I need? 2 for that? Our big problem really is Toymaker's Shop. Welcome, everybody. Let's go for the face. And he's out of here. Winner, winner, victory dinner. All right, playing against Jojopuff. One word. Deep. I'm going to play Pawpatch as is. I like up the Offsprings. He's one of the cheapest ones out there. But I don't want to wait till I get to 3. All right, you're just going to be mean about things, huh? Here's an Evangelist, and he brought with him a bat. I can Collector's Cage, provided I keep all these guys alive. What are you putting out there? Otter, huh? You're playing an Otter deck. Oh, what are we going to get out of it? Pop up our friend here. Pull this guy out. And in we go. Battle Cry! All right, there we go. We got a nice line group of people. Battle Cry. I need 6 mana, for which I only have 3. But I do have a Shelter by Ghost, a couple of those to help us out. 2 Sanguine Evangelists would be even better. Of course, a board wipe would suck. And my guys are totally willing to get board wipe. Let's give it to Batman Do there. And we win! Suck it, suckerfish. Suck it. All right, we were playing against Mike. Mike. All right, let's go full on elf. That gets us into a salvager on the next turn. Let's Razorverge it. Get ourselves a nice 3/3 out of the deal. What do we got? 3, 4, 5 mana. Let's go beat some cat butt. Oh, what are we looking at here? 4, here's 5 and 6, which means we got 2 turns until we drop the Ooze hammer. You're going to steal a guy with the 3/3? Good for you. Ooh. We'll send in the moth. Can I pop this guy too? Let's do that. Pow! There we go. Good job, everyone. Who's he going to take? The Salvager? Yep, there he goes. Good. He's not going to like Nick's turn. He's dead. He doesn't know it, though. One, two, a.k.a. boom, boom, goes the room. Victory. All right, playing against Firecat Dora. Two mana, keep. Like to get a little Llanowar action out early. We didn't get that in this case. We only have 2 mana. That's not going to get us very far, is it? Battlecry gives them +1/+0, which means these guys can't block. We're cool. All right, we're going to go ahead and put this out. That's totally cool. Gives us a nice bat. He's not one for defending, I can tell you that. All right, we've got 3, 4. You gonna wipe the board? Is that the deal? I mean, if we're just gonna be hammering against each other left and right, let's just give it to the flying guy. That sounds fine. And another bat. All right, he's down to 2. He has to wipe the board right now. He has to. And he just gives up instead. That's one way to wipe the board. Victory! Our pin again is Firefly. Fire_fly. The underscore is an important part of this naming structure. All right, if I put this out now, then it keeps me from playing Pawpatch Recruit, which is always a problem because I am a sucker for that. Oh, I already had one, but I guess I get that cheaper if I can actually make it happen. All right, there we go. We got 2 guys out. They're not going to get into a battle here. I need guys, unfortunately. I need guys badly. Is he a chicken? He's trying to make his mind up if he's chicken or not. If he is. Alright, get lost is the way to go here, huh? Alright, let's see. Let's get our 3rd guy out. I'm just hoping we can survive long enough for this. And then, bump. Let's just pump this guy up by to what we need. That way if he gets killed, yeah, we're good to go. And let's go all in with what we got. There you go. Go ahead. Try to block. I know. That's a little pee pants action there. It would be 13 points of damage, man. You don't have any mana. You can keep looking at it and swinging your mouse around all you want. Nothing's going to change here. Trick or treat. There we go. Feel how delicious that is. He wants to get rid of the march. He's got white. It's a possibility. Otherwise, he's going to go pee pants right now because there's nothing he could do. And he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. All right, let's just eliminate the positive here, huh? And probably the smart thing to do is to pump up this guy, the guy that has trample. Because I could have put it onto the bat. That would be an, except he could block it with the healer's hawk. So trample's the way to go. Battle Cry! All right, so you can block 13 of it. You got to block 16 over here, man. There you go. I'm sure that'll do it. And -11. Winner, winner! Victory dinner! All right, so here we are with Selesnya 70. Selesnya 70. Yeah, no, this was a really, really, really good deck. You know, I don't like playing Selesnya because I always feel like it's pretentious. Pretentious. It's just a weird feeling, right? But this one was good. One thing I liked about it is that we were playing rabbits without a lot of rabbits. We were playing elves without a lot of elves. Overlords without a lot of overlords. You know, it was kind of like the anti-tribal deck. It didn't really matter, but we were getting out a lot of little dudes, right? Because we were putting out offsprings. We got at least 2 sets of offsprings right there. This is technically an offspring. Another offspring right there. This guy's an offspring. You know, the guys that are putting out those additional guys each turn, all of them are putting out babies. This whole deck was practically pregnant, right? And that's all because March of the World Ooze. You want to go wide so that they all become 6/6s at the same time. Oh, the gloriousness of that situation. What's nice, then you got dudes with trample in their 6/6s. That was so good. Yeah, it was a delightful deck. It had a lot going on for it, a nice amount of utility, and I thought it was decent. It was really good. The only card I thought feels like it should be a lot better is Toby. Toby feels like it should be a great card. And yeah, if you got whatever, if you control 4 more token creatures, they have flying. I mean, yeah, that's fantastic. This is probably the best deck for Toby. Otherwise, Toby is just lame. I just never see it work that well. There's never enough token creatures out. And sure, they got flying, but he just gets killed. So anyways, yeah, there's one in there. Whatevs, man. I'm good. But I can see what the point of it is. Sandstorm Salvager, I've never seen this person before in my life. In this deck, totally choice. The fact that you could, for 2 mana, give each of your token creatures +1/+1 and trample to the end of turn, fantastic. Since we are putting out token creatures like crazy in this deck, big time. Obviously, there's other, you know, token creature positive cards you could put in here. This is a great collection. Anything you do is going to be different. And yeah, sure, there'll probably still be a good deck, but I don't know what you could do that's going to make it better. Just different. All right, so let's get down to it. Who is the MVP? Ooh, this is going to be hard. Who is the most valuable player? I can tell you straight up the bat, I kind of believe it was Sanguine Evangelist, just because of his her ability to give out Battle Cry there. I loved getting out Battle Cry. I like the fact she came with another bat. I like the fact when she got killed, she became a bat. Yeah, that was really good. But on the other hand, the one card I think I was using the best in this one, Collector's Cage. Here's my deal with Collector's Cage, is that I've always thought this was just trash. This deck completely made this card so good. Number one, because it's so hard to get 3 creatures out a lot of times. People are just picking your creatures off like crazy. This deck has a good ability to, because it's so pregnant, to pop out lots of dudes. Like in 2 turns, you'll have 4 creatures out. They're wusses, complete and total wusses. But you only need 4, and they just need to have different power than what they got. This guy has the ability to pass out +1/+1 counters, little popo counters, right? And then you're pulling out, you know, World Ooze or Overlord for free, like on turn 3 practically. So I got to say, it's Collection Cage. I think this one's the MVP of this particular deck. Sanguine Evangelist is really good for this deck, but Collector's Cage was the most valuable player. Congratulations, weird grouping of coppery looking things with some orange, some green stuff in the middle. You are today's MVP. You were going to Disneyland. All right, let's see. So was this deck competitive? It was a 70% deck over on EtherHub. I ended up getting 67 with it. So yeah, it is definitely a competitive deck. I played it on ladder. I played it casually. It did very well regardless. I'd say there's 2 decks I did not do well against, and that was decks that were control decks that did absolutely nothing but just kill creatures again and again and again. They never put any creatures out. They never did anything. It was just creature kill constantly. That was the only time that this deck suffered because you have to maintain a board state. I needed to get 3 creatures out. I couldn't even keep 1. It was just really, really bad. I mean, there's tons of creatures in here, yet I couldn't maintain any creatures for 2 of the decks I played against. So, I mean, how often is that going to happen? Well, I can tell you in like the 10 games I played, it happened twice, man. That's like 20% of the time. And that sucked. That sucked. But still, other than that, this deck just rocks it. I bet you it probably wouldn't do very well against aggro. You know, you got a lot of little things going on, but still, if you were trying to fight against stuff in the first 3 turns, you'd have a hard time. All right, but still, regularly, it's a competitive deck. Was this deck fun? Yes. Why is that? Because, yeah, you didn't really get a lot of dudes to do a lot of great stuff with, but you were putting guys out. You were attacking for 2 or 3. You had some control going on early game, and you were able to use Collector's Cage to trick in some of the big stuff early on, making your dudes huge and wide and just birthing those babies left and right. And also then getting Battle Cry on them, just screaming in and taking people out with your wide-ass team, with your squad. Yeah, it was a good deck. It felt aggro even though it wasn't. Just because he had a hard time for the first 2 or 3 rounds. But after that, like when you get to mid-game, this deck is just throwing haymakers. And that was fantastic. All right, let's get to the last one. Was this deck interesting? It was. It was an interesting deck. Why was it interesting? Because it had an interesting way it played. The collection of cards was interesting. Like I said, I'd never even seen the Salvager before. I thought Toby was a complete waste, but with this deck, it's fantastic. Just because you do have a lot of artifact creatures that Toby's going to turn into flying guys very quickly. I was using the moths from the Overlord like nuts. I was shocked by it. And then when they became huge because of the World Ooze, yeah, that was so good. So all together, even though we got a lot of little dudes, getting the mana beef from the Llanowar Elves, and then just trying to get up to that 6 quick enough so you could throw out the World Ooze, get your guys pumped up to be 6s. Man, this deck just totally rocks it. All right, so let's add this up. Was this deck competitive? Yes. Was this deck interesting? Totes. Was this deck competitive? What did I miss there? Was this deck fun? Absolutely. All right, so that makes this into an A+ deck. A+. And as I'm required by federal law to say, this deck is so choice. I'd highly recommend you pick one up, should you have the means. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the underground secret headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.